and welcome to my first YouTube live ever. I've been thinking about doing this for a while and honestly have felt really nervous about it. I think just because it's different. I've only gone live on the other app like a couple times, and so this is like a new territory for me. But I'm doing this today for two reasons. One, because I wanted to practice and I wanted to see how it went, because in the future I would like to host some live classes for those of you who don't live in Iowa or don't live nearby and can't take blanket classes, or so either hand knitting blanket classes or hand crochet like granny square classes with me in person. I want to be able to do that online so that we can connect and that you guys can learn those things. I obviously have a ton of tutorials on my channel to help you with those things already, but there is something different about being able to engage and ask questions and see something again if you didn't get it the first time. So if some setting is off on here, I'm sorry. There's like too many buttons. I tried to like research a little bit beforehand to make sure that I did it right, but I'm just going to go with it and hopefully it turns out fine. So, the second reason that I'm doing this today is because yesterday my son came home from school and he's like, Mom, can I have your phone to look at something? I was like, well, what do you want to look up? He's like, I just want to look into something. I'm like, okay. He's always so secretive. So he was looking, and then after a bit, I was like, okay, time to be off. What were you looking at? And he shows me on Amazon these magician items that he's been looking at that he says that he wants. And so the three things that he said that he wanted was this stuffed bunny, this magic wand, and a top hat. So he said that he has an idea for doing a magic trick with these three things. And I was like, okay, well, we can put that on your birthday list, which isn't till July. But then I got to thinking, I was like, these are fairly simple things. I have plenty of yarn, and it'd be kind of fun to just like try and make these for him and see how they turn out. Because one, I don't want to bring more toys into our house, honestly. If you have kids, then you know that it can add up so fast. I feel like we've already been purging things out and don't really want to buy more toys. So, or just like more stuff. And who knows, he might come home today and already be over the magician thoughts. So I was like, well, this will give me something to make. I can at least try it and we can see how it goes. So, what I need to decide, oh, I forgot to grab, I have like wooden dowels that are like this long and they're only like a half inch in diameter. And I think that that would be perfect for the wand because the wand that he picked out just has like the white on both sides and then black in the middle. And so all that I would need to do is paint it. So my husband said that we have spray paint in the garage. I don't feel like tackling that right now, but that will be a thing that I do. So I'm going to start with the yarn. And I have this white chenille yarn. So this is our white Stay Cozy chenille yarn. I sell it on my website in a ton of different colors. But this is what I'm thinking of using for the stuffed bunny. And then for the black top hat, so this is the stuffed bunny, which I'm kind of thinking about starting with that because it's cute. But the black top hat is fairly simple design. I've made a hat before, which actually, oh, someone asked, hi, Charles Pinster 9529. Hello, thanks for being here. I'm from Iowa, so I'm right in the middle of the US. But I made this alphabet hat back when the second Wicked movie came out, and this is made from my pleather tube yarn, which I also sell on my website, but unfortunately I'm out of this black nat color, which would have been really perfect for a magician top hat, but instead I'm going to use one of the other yarns that I have. So I need to decide. So there is this black chenille yarn. So like the white one, but black. This would be easy to work with. My only hesitation is that it's so much thinner and kind of flimsier that I don't know if it would have enough structure. Maybe if I knit it tight enough, it would. And then I have this tube yarn, boucle yarn, that is stuffed on the inside, and it's kind of fuzzy on the outside, kind of like the chenille yarn. So that would be like a nice texture. Or I have this black tube yarn. This is cotton tube yarn. So it's like the same as this boucle yarn, but just like a, not fuzzy. So now that I'm looking through all these, I feel like the cotton tube yarn might be best. My only hesitation with that is that the tube yarn is kind of weighted since it's stuffed, and I just don't want it to be too heavy on his head. So I don't know, maybe I do like a round part with the tube yarn like at the base of his head to like give it some structure, and then I just do the chenille yarn to keep it light. I don't know. So I'm gonna wait and think about that, but I'm gonna get started on the bunny, and I want to make it similar to that one that I shared the picture of. So I'm just going to use the white chenille yarn, and for this bunny, this is my reference photo. It's kind of like laying on its tummy. So I think what I'm going to do is start with the body. I'm going to make the body, and then I think I'll add the head and the legs and the ears. So I'll just like start with the one part, get it the size that I want, and then go from there to like make sure that the sizing and the, what's the word? Not the dimensions, but oh, the proportions, that they're right. So, hello, am I Wiccan? No, I am not. This was just from, I made an alphabet hat with some of my tube yarn. I'm not sure that everyone's so creative, if that's just a statement. I do believe everyone is creative. And then hello, who's that guy? Suit in the woods back there slowly creeping up. Don't say that. Oh my gosh. Yours are gonna creep me out. I don't want to be looking behind me thinking that someone's coming up behind me. Okay, so I'm gonna get started with a magic circle. And this is not going to be a tutorial. If you're looking for tutorials on how to hand crochet, you can find those on my channel. I have tutorials showing how to make a magic circle, but that is not this today. Today I'm just making something for my son, or at least attempting to. So I think I'm going to probably start with 6 single crochets. I feel like if I do less than that, then sometimes it's hard to get a full circle because there's just like not enough yarn. Hello, hello. Can you give me a shout out? Hi, X Demon. Hello. Glad you're here. I'm curious if anyone does any hand crocheting, or if you just like randomly came across this live and are like, what is this girl doing? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 6. Okay, so we have the 6, and this is going to be the start of my bunny. So the bunny in this photo is very small, so I probably am not going to need to do too many rows. Oh, I just realized I do need, thank goodness I always have things lying around. I'm going to use this as a stitch marker. Because especially with this fuzzy chenille yarn, it's easy to lose your spot. So, okay. So I'm just marking my first stitch of this round so that I don't lose my spot. And if you're curious about hand crochet, it's very similar to regular crochet except for you don't use a hook. You just use your fingers. And I did have someone at a Granny Square class a couple weekends ago who had done crochet before, and she felt like that this was very different because I think if you're used to using a hook to grab the yarn, then going to just using your fingers can be so different. But there's another lady who had also crocheted, and she said that it helped just to think about your fingers as the hook. So it's like in regular crochet, you know, you reach through, wrap the yarn around, but you're just gonna grab it and then pull it through and make your stitch. So I don't know. There's different things for everyone. I prefer this, but I do have a giant hook that I had been using on a different project. Thank you for encouraging my patience and creativity. I appreciate it. What is this called? I'm assuming you mean the yarn. This is jumbo chenille yarn. So it's like fluffy. Okay, so I've done I did my magic circle and then I did a round of 6. So now I'm gonna do another round because this is not quite the size that I want yet. And mark my stitch again. Did you ever make a jikaboo with yarn or pottery before? I'm sorry, I don't know what a jikaboo is. Could you explain? Or I can look it up after. What is the technique? Oh, this is hand crochet. So I'm basically right now, like I'm using my fingers as the hook. I'm doing single crochet stitches. So reaching under that stitch, pulling it through, and then finishing off the stitch. So that's kind of what I specialize in is hand knitting and hand crochet on my channel. Um, and I had just shown you can use like a jumbo hook, but I am just more comfortable doing hand crochet. I use a hook sometimes just depending on what the project is, because with some of the thicker yarns, it can be kind of like harder on my wrists. Like this is the tube yarn, and doing hand crochet with that is kind of tougher because it's thicker. Oh yeah, so if you don't like the hook kind of crochet, I would totally say try hand crochet. Personally, for me, I found using a hook when learning was like very cumbersome. Like it was hard for me to hold the hook and also like the yarn. It just was like so much going on. So I find only having my hands and the yarn like makes it feel so much simpler. So, okay, I think I'm getting, since I want this to be like fairly tiny, this is what I'm going for is this like little hand-sized bunny style. And I know it's going to be like a little bit bigger, but I feel like if I do that, and then I'm going to have to somehow make the head like really small. But I think I want to keep it pretty tiny. So I'm just trying to decide if I do one more round or if I just close it off right there. I don't know. I'm gonna see, I'm actually gonna start on the head and I wanna see like how small I can make it because sometimes with the chunkier yarn, when you're trying to make small things, it's like you can only go so small. So, okay, here's the other. I probably have to undo this whole thing to get to the end, so 1 second. Oh, thank you. Sorry, it's like hard to read from here. Hi in Vegas, 82 Princess Trish. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for liking this video. Let me know if you guys have any other questions about the yarn or what I'm making. And so this is my first live that I've done on YouTube, so forgive me if I like repeat myself or not. I'm not sure like when you join like how it works, but I'm making some things for my son who wanted magician items and wanted to order them on Amazon, and I was like, I think I'm gonna try and do this myself. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm starting the head now. I'm doing another magic circle and I'm gonna see if I can make a circle with just 4 or 5 stitches around it, just to be able to make it a little bit smaller than the body, but we'll see if it lets me do that. I like chenille yarn because it's like so fluffy and I find it pretty easy to work with, but it can be tricky. It can snap kind of easily, like if you put too much tension on it. So sometimes making a magic circle is tricky. Oh, thanks for saying that I have a nice cozy channel. What kind of yarn? This is jumbo chenille yarn. So it's like a polyester yarn. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got 4 loops around. I almost feel like that is even like gonna be big enough for like the head because it's a pretty tiny bunny. But let's see. Maybe I'll just do one more and then close it up so that has like a complete look. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to now, if I find my scissors, I don't know how much yarn I'm going to need to connect it to the body, but I'll just give myself a little bit. And then, so I ended up just doing a magic circle of 4 single crochet stitches. And then now I'm going to just close up this end, even though it's like so fluffy, you probably would never notice. But it is hard to tell, oh here, like where those stitches are. I'm sorry if I'm mumbling, but I didn't use my microphone today because I wanted to keep my phone plugged in. Okay, so there's the bunny head. And then here's the bunny body. So let's see, do we think this is, I feel like for how big this is, the bunny body needs to probably be at least another round. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. I think that's a good size. So, I think I'm just going to trim this here also. And then close up this end. Okay, and then with chenille yarn, since I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna use this to connect anything, I'm gonna use the tail from the other one. You actually use a lighter to connect the yarn. So I'm just gonna tuck this under one more time to make sure that it's in there all the way. And then I'm gonna light this. And there's like a plastic piece in the center of the yarn that kind of lights. And then just tucking it underneath one of the strands so that it is hidden. And so that should secure the little bunny body. Okay, so now, okay, gonna attach the head, so I need to reference my picture again. Okay, so for this, the head is like kind of on the front, like here, I believe, looks like it. So I'm gonna try and just tuck this around to connect it here. And I probably, well, it'd be nice if I had like a large needle that I could kind of like weave this in and out, but I don't think the ones that I have will be big enough. Sorry, someone just honked. It's like, someone here? Okay. I feel like with attaching, things can so easily like get out of place. But the nice thing with the chenille yarn is that it's so fluffy that it's like easy to just like hide things because you can't really tell where the yarn is like starting or stopping. Um, all right, so got our little bunny body here, and I think that that is secure enough. Should probably go through just one more just to make sure in the back here. Excuse me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just trim this and then attach this. Alrighty, so there we go. We have the little bunny body. And next up, I really want to do the ears because I feel like that's what's going to make it look like a bunny, but why not? Okay, so the thing that I'm not sure is if this is going to be, if there's going to be enough structure to hold these ears up. One second. Okay. But, well, actually, I think I need to do the feet first to make sure, however it ends up setting, that the ears are kind of like even. So I think I'm just going to do some simple legs, like find where I want them to go. Let's see. And just connect them with a slip stitch. And then I think I'm just going to, so one slip stitch, let's do chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yeah, I feel like, well, actually maybe they're fluffy enough. I think I could fold them back on on themselves, like if I wanted it to be thicker, but I just don't think it's necessary for what we're doing here. So they probably don't even need to be that long. So take 2 away. So it was a slip stitch and then 1. And then the goal is for it to kind of lay like this. So that's probably good. Okay. So I'm going to trim this. I'm not going to attach it yet till I do the other one, just to make sure that it's how I want it to be. And put this on the other side. So 1 slip stitch, and then chain 2. Okay. So, and then this little bunny is going to be like this. Okay. So for this last one, I think I'll just like loop it through the end of like where the paw would be. So I'll trim this one, loop that through, pull it kind of snug, and then wrap it under. And I'm just going to tuck like this extra tail of the yarn kind of under these loops, so it'll give like a little more structure to the leg, and it also will hide it, and then I'll just connect these 2 ends together right at the front. Where did this? Okay, so there's the 2, and then I'm just going to trim the yarn and then connect those with the lighter so that the paws. What are you making and what are you trying to crochet? So good question. So I am trying to make a little bunny. It looks not like a bunny right now, but my son asked for magician things, and one of the things he wanted was this little white fluffy bunny, and so I was like, I think I could do that. So that's what I'm in the middle of making. He also wanted a wand, which I'm going to try and make with a wooden dowel, and then a black top hat, which I'm also going to probably do a mixture of hand crochet and hand knitting. Haven't decided for sure. But the bunny I wanted to finish first. So I'm doing hand crochet techniques with chenille yarn. And I'm going to light this yarn on fire. Whoops! That's not what I wanted to happen. Well, now this bunny's just kind of a charred paw. Maybe I'll char more of it so then it's like a speckled bunny. Oops. Thank you. I haven't decided what I'm going to use for the eyes yet. In the past, when I've made other, like this is a jumbo flamingo floaty that I made, and I just used yarn to make the eyes. And I think like it would obviously probably look the cutest if I used like those, like the buttony eyes or like the safety eyes, but I've never used those, so I don't have any on hand. So we'll see. I do have some actual buttons that I could try and sew onto it. I just don't know if that would make it look creepy or not. So I think I'll just have to decide when I get to that point. Okay, so I need to try not to burn up the yarn while I do this time. So usually it doesn't burn too fast, but obviously gravity makes the flame move. Okay, so see his little charred paw? Just gonna trim some of that chard off. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we got the two little feet. So the goal is that it will like lay like this. So now I need to make two little paws for the back. And I want them, so in this photo, the legs actually are going backwards. So I'll attach them and make them going this way. So slip stitch and then chain two, the same that I did for the front ones, so that they're about the same length and that they look similar. Let's see. Sometimes like finding the right stitch to go into is tricky because you want them to be similar on both sides, but it's not always even. Okay. He is super soft. Someone wrote Dollar Tree. I don't know if that's an answer to something or a question for something. Ah, shoot. I think I made this one too short. Okay. And like it looks weird. It looks like it's like jumping or flying. So I feel like I need to attach the leg maybe up a little further, like more on the side, probably, to make it look like it's like hinging backwards rather than like sprawling, if that makes sense. So slip stitch and then chain two. Yeah. Okay, so that way then the leg can kind of come forward and go back like an actual bunny. Okay, and then this one, too small. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone said they broke their arm. I'm sorry, that really stinks. My daughter actually just fell off her bike yesterday and hurt her arm. I think that it's fine because she can move it still, but it was bothering her this morning. And so then I was getting nervous. I was like, did she get like a stress fracture? And do we need to take her in? Oh, the googly eyes are available at Dollar Tree. Thank you. Actually, I do have like the stick-on googly eyes. I wonder if I used some hot glue. You think that would probably hold them in place. I'll have to try it. And again, I feel like eyes can always like make or break a stuffed animal because it's like it can make them look creepy or it can make them look more realistic. So it's like sometimes hard to know until like you actually do it. It is a rainy day. Okay. All right, I think that's going to be good. Okay, these legs are funny, but I think when it's, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna pull on them to kind of get them to the place that I want them. Okay, I'm trusting the process right now because it looks kind of goofy, but I'm hoping that the ears just, are the magic touch that make it look like the bunny. And the eyes, if we get the eyes right. Okay, so we're gonna trim this yarn. And attach it here. And just to clarify, you cannot connect all kinds of yarn with a lighter, but the chenille yarn has, like, I think since it's polyester and then the center is almost like a plastic piece that holds all the fluffy things together, then you can light it and then they like singe together. So people, whenever I've taught classes, people always get nervous about doing it, but it's really not hard and it doesn't light that quickly. So I feel like it feels like you need to rush because it's fire, but if you just stay calm, then it usually goes pretty well. Someone said maybe like a little wand in his paw. Oh my gosh, that would be cute. Trying to think of what I could use that's like small. Because the dowels that I have, I think are maybe like a foot long, so they would be good for like the kid size wand. Okay, I don't want to be breathing that in. I'm trying to think if I have like any small wooden things. Okay, so we have the little bunny with no ears. So we're gonna do the ears next. And I feel like, okay, so I'm gonna lay this like this and see where I want these ears to be popping up. I'm gonna reference my photo and I think, so obviously you can always like make your items and then connect them to your project after, but I kind of like just to connect them as I'm going because it just saves a step and then you know like where it's setting. Okay, so do I do, okay, so hold on, let me, that way your son, magic wand, the bunny would have it. Oh yeah, that's a cute idea. Okay, so I could do a bunny ear like this and then fill it in. Like in this photo, this bunny has like, it's almost like a peachy color ear on the inside, which I'm trying to think what color. I have like a blush color, which I probably would just use because it would be close enough. I'm gonna grab that. Okay. I feel like if I did this though, then I'd have to like somehow glue that in there. That does look kind of like a bunny ear. So that might be a good option, or let me see what it looks like if I chain the ear. And then I would just have to connect the blush color in there. So let's see, if we go, we put the blush through the top, and then this, in that photo, the blush goes like all the way down to the bottom part of the ear. Should put a bow on its neck. Oh, that'd be cute too. Okay. Yeah. I feel like this doesn't lay as well as I'd want it to, but I'm just trying to decide how I would. I don't really want to use hot glue because it's just so messy and with the fluffy yarn. Ah, okay. I have another thought. What if we start with the blush? Oh yeah, sorry. I'm just reading your guys' comments. Okay. Okay. So I could start with the blush and do a chain with the blush. And then with the white, I wonder if I just like weave this around, like if it would be enough. I don't know, maybe I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. Like I really want it just to be like one line around. I just don't know if I'm gonna achieve that look without using a hot glue gun. Or I could, oh, hold on. Okay, so right now I'm just doing like a kind of like a chain around the outside of the blush with the white. And I think I just have to see, this might make the ears too big, but we won't know until we try. What plant do you have outside your window? Um, so I have a monstera right behind me. And then outside, I don't know actually. It's just like a bunch of, we have woods behind our house. So it's kind of just like a mixture of things. Okay. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk when I'm like concentrating on trying to figure out what to do. I think this ear is just gonna be too big though if I do like this, and it's gonna lay wonky. Okay, so not that. I think I need to start with the white like I originally thought. Oh yeah, the monstera. Oh my gosh, if you live near near me in Iowa, I could give you a clipping. This one's actually from like a giant monstera plant that I have in my house that we got years ago, and I've gotten so many clippings off of it. Okay, so I did a slip stitch, and then 1, 2, chain 3, and then I'm going to come back down the other side. These ears, I'm not loving these ears. I mean, something was bound to be tricky, you know? Like it went pretty smoothly until this. So, well, and this is the part of the creating process that usually does not come up on people's videos. Oh, no, we unfortunately do not have redwoods near us. I'm in Iowa, so it's just like these are like probably a bunch of like volunteer trees. They're ones that just like sprout up like super fast. And then we have some really tall ones back there, but honestly, I don't know what they are. Okay. So I think I'm going to go back to starting with a chain of pink, which I know looks silly now. Yeah, little magician costume. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Having a little magician costume on the bunny, that would be cute. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with this, and if it turns out bad, then you know what? Then I undo it and I try again. So I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna do the ear on the other side, which let's try through this loop. So slip stitch and then chain 1, 2, 3, question mark. I think that's how much I did. Okay. And then this looks like some kind of like horned creature right now. Okay, let's find the beginning of my yarn. And I'm gonna weave it all the way around. Okay, this is kind of working. Not perfectly, but kind of. Mhm. Okay. Well, I feel like the ear wants to turn outwards, which is not. Okay, let's see for a second. Doesn't look great, does it? Okay. Okay. I'm feeling like I'm gonna have to get the hot glue gun, which is fine. So I'm gonna go get that after I get this all unwrapped. Okay, almost there. Okay, so I'm gonna plug in my hot glue gun and then get a chance to look at it that much. Oh, sorry. Should have waited until, so right here, right now, I have the chained in the blush. And I think what I'm going to do, because the wrapping didn't help, it didn't cover the pink enough. So I feel like I just want to use a hot glue gun, even though I said I didn't want to like wrap it around like this. Because I feel like it will give more the look that I want. And then the ear can maybe like pop in and out like that, like the traditional stuffies can. So I think I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna plug in my hot glue gun, give it a few minutes to heat up. I'm gonna run to the restroom because I don't have one up here in my studio, so I have to walk down to my house. So if you'd like to hang out and wait around, I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so here's my hot glue gun. I have my charger cord with all my things plugged in so that my phone doesn't die and my computer doesn't die. All the things don't die, but got to take one over for the hot glue gun. So BRB. All right. Yeah, it might come back off the might come off the glue. I know what you're saying. I well, I don't feel like it's going to because this is so fluffy. I think that it will hold there, but it's just, are these ears even in the right spot? Okay, I have to remember that this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just making it for fun for my son. So, but it is kind of like once I glue, again, I can always just cut the ears off and try again if I don't like it, but excuse me. Okay, well, we're gonna try this. And what about sewing it? I had that thought too, which would actually probably be the smarter and better choice, which I actually have needle and thread right here. At first I was like, I don't want to take the time to do that. Am I trans? No, I'm not. And um, maybe I will sew it. It probably won't take as long. Okay, you've convinced me. By just asking the question, you've convinced me. So I'm unplugging this glue gun because I've been known to forget glue guns being on in my day, which is not the best. But good thing I have cement floors because now there's just a goop of hot glue drying. Okay, so I've been convinced. Didn't take much to sew. Looks like I already have some white on here. Or, you know what I could do is I also could glue it so that it holds it in place, and then I could sew it on so that it's like more secure. Think I'm gonna do that. Take it to the cleaners? What do you mean? Okay, so now the plan is hot glue, then sew to secure. Okay. Hot glue. Yeah, hot glue, it's like it's so versatile, and also like I hate it because I feel like it's always dripping places. It's like not super, it's not like clean cut. And also it's like so helpful. Okay. All right, so I'm going to tuck this around. Okay. So I'm going to pull. Okay, you guys, I think this was the right choice. Oh, except for there's still glue on the back. Look at that bunny ear. Scissors. And then what happened to my lighter? Okay, so okay, so now I just need to finish off the pink here. And then these two pieces can get connected on the back here. So I'm actually just going to knot this blush and white piece back here, and then just trim these. Okay. So, what do we think? Year one. The color seems too dark. Is what you're asking? Okay, we'll see. And now time for the other one. Okay. So let's attach this first so it's out of the way. And then the white. Ooh, claws. Okay, so like maybe we do some black. I can't get distracted before I finish the ears. So on the original bunny, there's no like accent pause, which doesn't mean that I can't do that. But let's see what it looks like once we get this lined up. Okay, so we're gonna do, there's like hot glue all over my floor. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to like read the comments. Sorry, I don't know why I like squint like that every time I look at the comments. It's like I act like I can't see, but I totally can. Sticky glue. Okay, let's. Sorry, the glue's like not drying, getting it stuck on my fingers instead of on the yarn. Okay, let's leave it like that. Okay, so this one looks a little bigger than the other ear, but that's okay. Again, we aren't going for perfection today. We're going for me just making something fun for my son. So. And do we think I'm going to get all of the things done before I have to pick him up at 4? Oh, thank you for saying that you love the bunny plush. Okay, so we need. And I'm assuming, I can't see a bunny tail on this bunny that I'm referencing, but I'm assuming it has one, and ours for sure will need one. Okay, so do I need to add, okay, the back looks a little wonky, and they're a little close together, like almost like mouse ears, but if we pull them apart. Yeah. So do I need to cover up the back in white? I mean, probably. Okay. Okay, next up is the nose, which is pink in this photo. If you just joined me, this is the photo that I'm referencing. Okay, so I think, well, I could probably just glue it on, but I really want to make sure that it stays. So I think I'm just gonna probably tie it on. I think one time around, huh? Yeah, I think 2 times around will be too much. It'll be too much of a nose. So I'm just gonna, and then we're going to connect the back sides so that it doesn't sneak out. How do I keep misplacing? Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's get that tucked in there. Hmm. I don't know. What do we think? Okay. A little orange for the nose. Oh, my video keeps pausing. I'm sorry. Thank you for the kind words. Someone said, I love it. You must be a professional. It's hard to call myself a professional, but I am. I've been hand knitting and hand crocheting for like 7 or 8 years, and I teach other people how to. And if you check out my channel, then you'll see a ton of tutorials. Oh, yes. Thank you guys for answering the questions. So, what do we think? Yay to the nose, or does it need to be changed? I feel like it might be as good as it's gonna get for like what I'm working with. And maybe you just need to go for the eyeballs. I mean, it's a little pink nose. It almost looks like too big though. I don't know if it needs to be smaller somehow. Or maybe it's just because this part of the bunny is like, I don't know, wonky. So again, like what I said earlier on, fluffy jumbo yarn can be very forgiving. So like right now, this bunny looks like it doesn't have a jaw. And so I'm just gonna like wrap some of this excess white yarn around to see if I can like build out the bottom of it a little bit. Because it's almost like it needs like more cheeks than what it has, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping if I just kind of keep going back and forth, you know, it's going to fix the issue, which it kind of did. Okay. Yes. The ears are not perfect, but they are what they are. Should, mm-hmm. Okay, so nose or no nose? I mean, it needs a nose, but do we switch the nose or do we keep the nose? I'm just like not, I feel like the nose, I'm gonna get rid of this nose. I'm just not happy with it. Really hoping I'm not cutting into the bunny face right now. Okay. Hello, welcome Adorned by Stitches. I'm good. Oh, thank you for saying the nose is perfect. I just cut it off. Okay, let's see. I feel like the bunny face is actually good. It's just more of the nose, the placement. Okay, so it might just need to like come down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Or do I use like a different kind of material? No, I don't like that. Okay, I think I like that a little better. The nose down just like a little bit. And I think I'm just gonna glue this on. My glue sticks aren't stuck together. Okay, I'm gonna go grab some of those googly eyes and then we're just gonna see what it looks like because I don't know. Now I'm like, is it better as it was? Okay, we're gonna you know when you look at something so long where you're like, does it look like a bunny? Does it not? Now the nose is too low. Why did I glue it instead of just tying it? These are all good questions. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the eyes. Be right back. Okay, so we have a couple options for the eyes. Yeah, let's see. Okay. We are going, so how I make a lot of my eyes, so like I showed on this giant flamingo floaty whose wings will move, um, I just used fabric. So these are like tied on here. It's my tube yarn, and so there's some fluff to it, but I can also take the stuffing out. So what I could do is this is my velvet tube yarn. And take this out. Put all that fluff in there. And then just use this to tie an eye on. So like basically it would end up like having, it wouldn't be that big, but like this kind of like material on it. Or, oh my gosh, okay. I don't think I'm doing the googly eyes because they definitely look creepy. Look at this. Unless you guys tell me it looks good, I think it looks creepy. Is it just because they're too big, or is it just because googly eyes are creepy sometimes? And do rabbit eyes go on the side of their head or on the front? Let's see. Oh my gosh, these are so scary. Okay, we aren't using these. Gosh, am I gonna have to add like wire to these ears so that they stay up? Got more yarn just hanging off here. So see, I was like complaining about the hot glue then, and then now I'm using it to like secure all the ends. See, it's like the magic craft tool and also annoying. Okay, I'm gonna tie this on and then we're gonna see what it looks like. So the bunny eyes are like right about here. Gosh, this nose is seriously worse than the one before. I'm struggling, guys. Hello. Thank you for joining. Sorry, I can't read names from here. The font is so small. Okay. I just had a thought. I follow the Fat Pom Poms. I don't know if you've seen her stuff before, but she makes a ton of things out of pom poms, and she trims a bunch of the fluff off, you know, to make it smaller or to make it look like it's different shapes. And so I'm actually doing that now with the bunny nose, which I feel like is helping because all the fluffiness, it's like that's not the texture that you need for a bunny nose. It's like you want it to be more kind of flat. So I feel like this is actually helping a little bit. And I feel like, I think her name is Jessica too, actually. Jess? I could be wrong. Okay, so let's see. gonna trim these. So if I were selling this bunny, is this how I would sell it? No, but we're just giving this to my son to play magician with for however long he actually has interest in playing magician with. So the quality might be sufficient. Except for this yarn fluff everywhere. Okay. Now my new favorite thing might just be trimming all this extra yarn. It's not so fluffy everywhere. Okay. Yeah, this nose like needs pulled out a little. Okay. Curious to know how this looks in the okay. So bunny, feel like it looks similar to my inspo. The eyes aren't perfect because I think those safety eyes, well, just because that's what the inspo here is like those safety eyes. But I think with what we're working with, it turned out cute. Now I just need to add a little tail because the bunny has to have a tail. Okay. These are glow in the dark googly eyes, not for this project, but for a different one would be good. Okay, and then tail, we're just going to find the center back, and I'm probably just gonna like knot it a few times until it feels like it's sufficiently tail, because it doesn't need to be giant. Okay, so maybe one more time and then tie it to the other side so that it kind of fluffs out a bit. Okay. Can't really even tell that there's a tail there since there's so much fluff on this yarn. But okay, do we think that this is fine, or does it need more of a tail? Maybe trim the eyes like around them a little bit, so like the eyes like stick out. Is that what you mean? Like some of the white fluff or the black part? Because I feel like I tried to get as close to like the black part stuff off. Actually, trimming some of the white stuff around the eyes does help. I feel like it helps accent them a little bit more. And the nice thing about this being an experiment is that like I'm not afraid to do it wrong. It's just like, well, it is what it is. And it's, honestly, it's a 50-50 chance that my son's gonna like this anyway. Small trim and circle. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, so I feel like with the black yarn, what I need to do is either it kind of is what it is because it's knotted, or I need to redo it with like some longer yarn where then I can flip the knot over, so then it's like on the other side, which if I were making this for anyone else, I probably would do that because it would just look um, a little cleaner. But I think that this will probably be fine for my son. Okay, and if I don't want to run out of time and I still want to make a hat, then I kind of need to get a move on. This bunny face is just like, yeah, this ear almost like needs to be, part of me feels like I need to like sew it or glue it up so that it stays up like this. Okay, so we got the bunny. Did any of you watch VeggieTales growing up? Because the bunny, the tail needs trimmed? What do you mean? Like if I cut it around, will it make it look more like a tail? Is that what you mean? Sorry, explain what you mean the tail needs trimmed. Like, should I cut around here? Okay, please let me know. Okay, so like more around it. Do you think it needs to be bigger though? Or do you think that it's fine this size, even though it's small? Ah, you're right. It does help. Gosh, who knew trimming the yarn was such a good choice? Thank you for saying that this is so cute. I'm happy with how it's turning out for just the afternoon experiment project. Okay, I just can't trim too much. I almost feel like I need to like trim it, like, or almost make a pom-pom and then attach it to the tail so that it's like more fluffy like a pom-pom. Um, but okay, again, I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And the reason that I can't trim the eyes like that is because I used velvet 2 yarn on the eyes. And I know it looks a little wonky, you guys, but do we think he's gonna love it? Okay, so we're moving on to the hat. And this is the hat inspos, like this. So just like a basic top hat. And if you were here at the beginning of the video, then these are my 3 options: cotton tube yarn, boucle tube yarn, and then chenille yarn. And I like the structure that tube yarn gives things, but I just think that it might be too heavy for his head. So I think I'm going to start out with the chenille yarn and see if I can get it to be what I want it to. So I need to think for a second. I think I'll probably do crochet instead of hand knitting because it'll give a little more structure since there's like multiple loops per row, like hand knitting is like a kind of like one stitch at a time. So I think what I'm going to do is start with the top part of the top hat since it's flat. And I'm going to start with a magic circle and I'm going to go around a few times, probably increase to 12, see how big that is. And then work down the sides from there. So that is the plan. We will see how it goes. There's like so much white fluff on this black yarn right now. Okay. I'm nervous this yarn's gonna snap. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I have my magic circle with 6 single crochets around here. Hey, Josh Bass. Hello. Okay, so now I'm going to increase for the next round to 12. So if you're familiar with crochet, then that just means that I'm doing two stitches into each of the original 6 stitches. And I don't think that this will end up being big enough, so I'll probably have to increase again, maybe just to 18 for the next round. I'll have to see how large it is. And this is why you should mark your stitches, because I've already lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay, so let's see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is what, don't mind the white fluff. This is what the magic circle with 6 single crochets and then increase to 12 looks like. And obviously that's nowhere near big enough. So this next round I'm going to increase to 18, which means that I'll do 1 stitch into every other stitch and then 2 stitches in the other off stitches. So there's a lot of math in crocheting. Okay, so I did 2 increases. I got a regular, and then this is my 3rd increase. Yes, Alexis, you're correct. 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. Yep. And of course I lost track again, but I think that's maybe the 5th increase. So we'll see. And I think that I do want this to be like a little on the snug side, because it will kind of stretch a little bit. Oh my gosh. I definitely wish I wouldn't have cut all my white fluffy yarn here, but maybe I'll get a lint roller when I'm all done. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so I have successfully increased to 18. Leave it to 12, add another one in the middle. What do you mean? So I think that this, so if it's going to come straight down, I think this will be good because if I go any bigger, then I think it will swallow his head. So now I'm going to stick with the 18, which I guess this is going to pull in. I think it'll still be okay. I'll just have to see. 17. What do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not following. Okay, so I'm at 18 right now. And now I'm going to flip this over because I'm kind of going to start building this up. So we have, okay, I'm going to use a tie. So this is my first stitch right here. So I don't want to lose track of that now. Okay, so we're going to do, I don't know if I should do back loop only. That's what I was curious about for like moving to going up, because I probably should do a round of back loop only. I think you're right. I'm glad you asked that because when I hand crochet with my tube yarn like this back here, I almost always do back loop only for the whole project because it's just so thick. But then with the chenille yarn, you can go under both strands. But I think you're right. I think we should do back loop only to at least transition to the going up. So I'm going to do that for this one. And then I think I might transition back to both strands because then it'll help keep it thicker, you know, and give like a little more structure to it. Leave it small, add another ball. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not going on the bunny. That's where you're saying make it smaller. This is going on my son. So he asked for a bunny, a top hat, and a magic wand because he wants to be the magician who does a trick of pulling a bunny out of the hat. So I think one, for it to fit my son, it needs to be bigger. And then also for the bunny to fit in it. Okay, yes, it'll help the structure to do a row of back loop only. Okay, awesome. We're on the same page then now. Thank you for suggesting that. Yeah, because then it'll help those sides not fold in and have more of that top hat look. So to be honest, so at the beginning of this video, if you weren't here, I said I was nervous about doing a YouTube live because I haven't done one before. And I love like teaching in-person classes because I love answering questions and I love teaching and I love helping people learn. But I was nervous about doing a live because it feels like more like you have to be on like more performative. But actually this has been very nice and I like the feedback and that you guys actually ask questions and that it's actually helpful. Okay, now, okay. I tied on the first loop, right? Yes, okay. So it's not like flat like a top hat, but I feel like unless I had something hard and round up there, it probably won't. So now I'm going to transition back to both strands. to see if I like how that keeps the structure. Okay, so we're gonna go 1. Okay, so there was my first loop. I'm gonna tie this here. It's crazy how easily I can be thrown off with counting crochet. What time is it here? It is 2:20 in the afternoon. Well, I'm definitely going to need at least one more skein of black because I'm already almost out. This clearly have too many threads happening. Yeah, it is hard to count and read the chat. I feel like it's hard for me to count even when I am just creating by myself because I get distracted. So I'm glad that I tied onto that first stitch. Otherwise, I would be completely lost. Okay, so gosh, I know I keep saying this, but I just hate how much fluff there is on here. Okay, so let's see. It does not look like a top hat right now, but we're going to trust the process and keep going. And I'm gonna go get 2 more skeins of black yarn because I think we're gonna need 2 at least. Okay, so scissors, hiding in my fluff of white yarn. So whenever I connect strands of chenille yarn, I always trim off the tail ends because when you light them, you actually want to be lighting that center strand of the yarn. We aren't trying to light the outside like fluffiness of it. And when you don't trim it, then that fluffiness is usually like on the tail ends, and so it's like harder to get that. Okay. Okay. I just feel like this is going to keep growing, but hopefully it doesn't. Like, do I need to make it smaller so that like it comes in a little bit? Like I feel like a top hat almost like narrows in a little bit. I mean, it's very like straight. So I don't know if I need to just keep going, probably. Or if I should like take one stitch away so it just like kind of pulls it in a little bit, you know? I don't know. I think with the crochet stitch though, it just looks so much like a beanie that I'm just like, is it gonna look like a top hat? But yeah, so you think just do like one decrease? Okay, so I'm gonna do a random decrease right here. I feel like it just needs to tighten up a little. And if you're just joining, I'm doing hand crochet with jumbo chenille yarn, and I'm trying to make a magician's hat for my son. I like really want to keep this an even number. I don't know why. Where I'm like, should I go down to 16? Do top hat get bigger? What do you mean? I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think I'm going to decrease one more down to 16 just to tighten this up. I think my husband might have just pulled up. So if you hear someone come in the door, don't be startled. Hey. Are you still alive? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm just reading your guys' comments for feedback. I feel like a knit stitch would have looked more top hat-esque, but I don't know why I think that, but yeah, this is definitely how I would make a basket. So that makes sense that it's looking like a basket. Well, and if it doesn't work, then I guess if anyone wants a basket, let me know. Okay, so how tall do we actually want this top hat to be? I think that was the last one. Okay. So, because we're gonna do, whoa, that's probably plenty tall, do we think? Oh my gosh. Okay, so, but then we need to do the thing around. Do we think, is it too tall? No, I don't think so. Because actually some top hats are pretty tall. Okay, when I made this one, so this witch's hat is knit stitch, and then I just went out from the side. So I think I'm going to go out in the same way, but I definitely don't want it to curl like this. So I think I'll just have to see. Okay, so for going out to the side, do we do Do we do the front loop only? Because if we're gonna work, so originally I did this, and then we did back loop only, work our way up. Should I do this front loop only to build it out to the side? Yeah, okay. And I think I'll need to increase by a few, right? To make it so it doesn't pull all the way around. I think maybe I'll just increase twice to get back to my original 18. I don't know if you guys can hear rain, but it's so peaceful. Yeah, I feel like this is throwing me off though, because making it this way when really what I want to do is like turn and make it the other way. But maybe it will work out once I get, once I actually transition to the next one. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going for now. Increase here. So now when we get around, we'll be back to our original 18. And then I'll probably have to increase again to make sure it gets all the way out. Okay, let's make sure this is, I think it should be 18. 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18. Okay. Yeah, here's a very nice basket. Yes, the yarn does have a mind of its own. Doesn't this almost look like a leprechaun basket when you look at it like this, because it like cinches in a little? Okay, let's see. So we're going to, now I'm just not sure if I want to do, because I want it to grow this way. So I almost feel like I want to do back loop only to keep it going. Or maybe now, I think I'm going to transition to hand knitting to keep it lighter. Okay, so let's see what this would look like. If we come through the center of each stitch, someone asked, did you go live before? I remember watching you a long time ago. I don't think that I've ever gone live on YouTube unless it was like on accident. I have gone live on another social media platform, but only like once or twice. So I mostly do like pre-recorded videos and tutorials, but I would like to start doing some live so I can teach classes. So this is actually helpful, because knowing that I can, like, if people have questions they can ask like this, that's good to know. Like if someone's confused by a step or something like that. So that's what I would like to do next. Okay, so there. I'm just going to keep going because the goal is to have this done by the time I pick him up from school. And if I keep second guessing myself, then it's not going to happen. So I kind of need to just do it. And then we'll see. And he'll be sure to tell me if he likes it or not, or if it fits or not. So maybe I'll be back on here tomorrow making a brand new hat in a completely different way because he doesn't like it. We'll see. And a top hat doesn't have, it has like a bill all the way around, but not super big. Let's see if this one has different size all the way around or not. Like it kind of goes up on the sides, you know, for like one of them. But we'll just have to see. Maybe we can just push it up like that since it's the yarn. Okay. So made it back around. And I think I'll do one more round of stitches like this at least, and then I'll do the binding off stitch. So this was my first one right here. And these knit stitches are much easier to count, I feel like, because I can at least like see the loops and like where they were before. You know, you're getting older when like sitting cross-legged for too long is just like too much. So this will help a little bit. Now I'm wondering if I should have alternated which way I did my knit stitches, because if you do like the regular knit and then purl, then it can like help with the structure so that it's not like flimsy like this. It's looking a little top hat-ish. So let's see if it has enough structure if I do a binding off row now, or if I have to redo all of it. So I'm gonna actually put this down on the floor. Try and get the rest of this fluff off. stuck in the black. Okay, so we're gonna do, so it was 3. We'll take one new strand through, and then I think I might, yeah, I'm just gonna do like 1 stitch in between each of the knit stitches so that it doesn't like pull, because if I do a regular binding off like you would on the end of a blanket, then it's gonna pull each of those stitches together, and then I think it's just gonna like make it kind of shrink in when really I want it to go around the whole outside of the hat. So I'm doing like the binding off stitch and then an extra loop in between to give some more length there. I don't know why this keeps like reminding me of like a jellyfish or something. And am I gonna have enough yarn, or are we gonna run out like with a few stitches to go? We're probably gonna run out with a few stitches to go. It's starting to look kind of like one, like a top hat. This is the best part. Like it reminds me of like when you redo a room. I don't know if you've done any like remodeling or even just like painting a room. Like when you take everything apart and you paint it all, and you're like, oh, I'm excited. I can kind of see like what the finishing, like the finished product is going to look like. But then as soon as you put those outlet covers back on, it's like everything just like comes together. And I feel like that's how this binding off stitch is it's like the covers, the outlet covers, where it's just like, oh yeah, here, it's like finally coming together. Yep, literally like 3 stitches left. Running out of yarn, which is fine. I wonder if I have any, I'm gonna go see if I have any scrap black yarn so I don't have to get into a whole new skein. So 1 second. And I do. Now coming back to this hat, like I just feel like my son is going to drown in it. Like it's gonna be way too big. But we'll cross that road when we get there. Okay. Okay. Well, and then the other question is are the sides going to stay up? I might need to do this. I just thought of this. I might need to do this final binding off row a little bit tighter to help hold it up, but we'll see. Okay. What do we think? Let's try on time. Oh, it's like, yeah, I feel like it's gonna look like a Dr. Seuss, like Cat in the Hat. I would say it might be a little big for an 8-year-old boy. And this is a little flimsy. It's a little more of a whimsical look than I was going for. Does anyone have any suggestions besides I might just need to take it apart and make it smaller? Feel like it feels more like bonnet vibes like this rather than top hat vibes where it would be like here. Like if I hold it like this, it kind of looks like a top hat, but like on its own. What do we think? I might need to revisit it. So yeah, I'm almost feeling like I need to redo it with a knit stitch because it just looks too bulky. Let's see if flipping it inside out makes any difference. Oh no, that makes it worse. You need it done by 3 or 4. Yeah, by 4 o'clock. It definitely needs to be smaller. You guys look at it this way. This is like a for sure granny hat. Um, you are crocheting your first granny square. It keeps curling. Is that normal? Yes, I would say if you're using the chunky, if you're like, are you crocheting one of my granny squares or a different one? It is normal to an extent, but if it's crochet or if it's like curling too much, then I would say make your stitches a little bit bigger because sometimes if you make them too tight, then like the yarn pulls in on itself and like it wants to curl the ends. So I would make your loops just a little bit bigger if that makes sense. So sometimes like when I make mine, it'll curl a little bit at the beginning and then once I get like more rows, it like holds it out fine. But if you find like it's really curling in, then I think it's just too tight. Have you ever crocheted a little baby mushroom with a little face on it? No, but that would be adorable. I've seen people. Actually, I bought a pattern from what's it called? I think it's like something Sister Crochet. I'm forgetting, but I follow them on Instagram and they have such good patterns. And before I even really knew how to read a pattern, I saw they have like a granny square mushroom that is so cute. Um, okay. So I think the consensus is that this needs to go away. It's just too big, too bulky. So the biggest that it went to was 18 around, and I think it's just too much. So I'm kind of wondering if I even just go down to keeping this 18 round, but then on the sides do a knit stitch down because I wonder if it will help like hold it more in place. And I don't know for sure, but I'm going to try it. Sorry, I'm going to do Sophosaurus. Oh, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Um, oh, Cosmic Galaxy. Sorry, I'm very sorry for that. I don't have a Kleenex nearby. Crocheting is tricky. I would say give yourself time, but if you find good tutorials, then it's like it took me a while for it to click, but then it finally did. Um, and I like hand crocheting. Like I feel like if your goal is to crochet with a hook, you could start with hand crochet because the stitches are similar and it just takes away that extra piece of having to hang on to a hook. That's how I learned. I know that doesn't work for everyone, but it helped my brain understand the stitches. And then once I understood then I could practice using a hook, and that took time, but at least I understood like how to make a stitch. Ooh, Sonic the Hedgehog would be fun. She's choosing someone that she'll give away. Oh, sorry. No, I'm not. I am making this for my son. I'm trying to make a top hat because he wants to be a magician. And this is what I've made so far. If you're just joining me, this is the little bunny that I made that is going to go in his top hat. Even though the nose is, we're just overlooking the nose because it's a little wonky. But I'm hoping that I can get something done by the time I have to pick him up from school. Oh, gotcha. Yes, this is true. Top hats are just tricky. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the 18 rounds, and then I'm going to transition to a knit stitch from there and see if I can get it to work. Okay, so where do we think that begins? So it was 6, and then I did 12, and then I did 18. So I might have just undone one. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yep. Okay. So now that I have my circle again, I'm going to see if I can pull this. You know what? I might switch. Okay, so this is the top. And I think I might switch my yarn over this way and then pull down because then it will help pull the stitch down rather than up and out. Oh, yes, Cosmic Galaxy. You're welcome. Come back if you can. If not, no worries. And if you guys ever have questions about hand knitting or hand crochet, just feel free to ask. Okay, so I'm going to switch this stitch around to the top and pull it down, which I think is the better option. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go through, okay, so I'm going through the center part of my stitches and pulling from the top down. And this already is is working in a better direction than it was the first time through. Oh my gosh, except for these white fluffs are going to be the end of me. Thank you. These are my 2 big corner windows, and it's like my favorite spot in the studio. Oh, oh my gosh, no. Ari just asked if my son is going on stage today. No, he is not going on stage. This is strictly for fun. I mean, I wouldn't put it past me to be making a costume the day of a performance, But this was honestly a whim my son had, and instead of just like impulse buying a hat and a bunny and a wand on Amazon, I decided that I was going to try and make it for him instead, and I was going to practice my live skills with you guys while doing it. So that's what I am doing. So I just did my first round, and I think that this is going to be better because see how those stitches are hanging down? And then now I'm going to pull my yarn back to the center so that I get that knit pattern. I want to have the front side of the knit stitch showing so that it looks more straight instead of the back side, which looks more like crochet. Try not to make side hat like off to the side. Okay, I'm actually going to do this again because I think this will help me keep my stitches a little bit tighter. Because if I can keep this knit stitch pretty tight, then I think it will help. If I get this done today, then I'm going to give this to him. I really would like to. I don't think the wand's gonna get done because I was going to paint it unless I like happen. Maybe I'll just like use like Sharpie to color the wooden dowel that I have, and then I could always paint it later to make it look nicer. But since I have the bunny done, I would like to get this hat at least done. Because maybe if I can make it like this and then have him at least try it on and surprise him, and then if it doesn't fit or if I need to remake it again, then I can do that. Wait, somehow I missed a stitch. Where did that come from? Oh, maybe that just went there. Okay, we're gonna say that just went there. I think it really did. Okay, I'm already happier with this. Not convinced that it will work, but I think we're on the right path. Mm. I probably should tie a string so I don't lose my beginning. Because I think I already did one. I think it's right here actually. It's better than I thought. Okay. So that's the first one. So I've done like 3 rounds. Oh yeah, show on my head. So right now, it's going to be coming down like this. You guys, it's looking like it's like is just the hand crochet not a good option for the top? Because like here it doesn't look like it's bowed that much, and then when I look at it in the screen, it looks more like mushroomy, but in person it doesn't really look like that. Mhm. I feel like hand knitting takes so much more time, and I don't know if that's actually true or if it just feels like that because the motion is different than hand crochet. I don't know, it just feels like it takes so much more to like add up. Okay, thank you guys for the positive encouragement on the top. I really do appreciate it. Okay, there's always like that tipping point in hand crochet and hand knitting, but I feel like in knitting especially where like you hit a point where it finally starts to like have structure, and it always takes a few rows because those first few rows have like no structure and they're kind of just like all over the place. And then all of a sudden, it's like you get enough yarn and it starts holding itself together. And so I feel like I finally just hit that where it's like starting to have sides, which is encouraging. And I want to keeping my loops smaller so that it doesn't get overly big again. Which I don't know. Is it going to end up being too big again? Maybe. We'll see. We're going to see. It's almost like with knitting and crochet, for me with this chunky yarn, things like always just seem to grow. It's like you think it's the right size, and then as you keep going, it's like it just gets like wider and wider. I think just from the bulk of the yarn, it's like harder to keep like a really tight tension. Mhm. Okay, it's like T minus 30, maybe 40 minutes till I have to leave. So I think I will at least get this this one done. And then I'll probably just have to have him try it on and see if it's gonna work. See how it's trying to look like a basket again? The style is just very similar. So I think before I transition to like the brim or the rim for the brim, I'll do like a binding off row, and then I'll like transition to the side so that hopefully it adds like some structure to the base of the hat. Okay, where was my beginning? Okay, over here. So I'll probably finish this row and then see what that height looks like. Okay. All right, so here's the height that we have now. Definitely more top hat like. Yeah. And I think this is plenty tall for him since his head's going to be smaller. So I am now going to, I'm going to probably do like a pretty tight binding off row so that it like cinches in these columns of knit stitch pretty well. Is the bunny gonna fit in the hat? That's a question I also need to ask. Okay, let's see. Well, if any of you were looking to make a flat bottomed basket, then I think this would work. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so much better. This is hilarious. This is the thing that I love about hand knitting and hand crochet is that it's just so fun and it's so funny. So I'm going to keep that on the tighter side so it fits his head. Yeah, I think it's enough length too. And then does the bunny fit in the hat? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we can pull the bunny out of the hat. Okay. And then, okay, so now it's the transitioning to the outside, the brim. So this would be there. Okay, I think I need to do one more connecting. Yeah, to here. Okay. Yep. So then we'll go here. And then we're going to go straight through those stitches so that they stick out to the side. I'm so excited. This is such a better option than that first one. Yes, I also think this is enough length. I know my daughter is going to want to steal this right when she sees it just because I made it for my son. And then she'll probably ask me to make her something. So we'll see if that happens. And then I think to help give the, is it a brim? Is it a rim? She just said she wanted it. Oh. Yes, babe. Are you with our daughter now? My husband just commented that my daughter did say that she wants this. I knew I was right. Okay, so there's the first. So I think I'm going to go from a regular knit stitch to a purl, and this will help pull that stitch up so that it doesn't flop down like it did that first time that I made it. So my hope is that alternating, I don't know. Now that I say that, I'm just like, maybe not. No, actually, I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's going to work like I thought. Okay, so we're just going to do regular. Okay, and then do I want an even bigger? Let me reference my picture one more time. Okay, the rim is just so thin. Okay, I'm gonna see what it looks like if I just start the rim now. Okay, I think this is going to be enough rim. Brim, I don't know. Hello. Welcome. Okay, yeah, I feel like there's like enough here where you can even like kind of roll it up on the sides like you would for like a regular top hat. Okay, so keeping everything smaller was definitely the way to go. Okay, okay. Thank you for sticking with me while I figured this out. It's definitely different than anything that I've made before, and giving structure to something that's made with such a flimsy yarn can be tricky, getting the amount of structure that you want right. Okay, so I'm keeping these stitches pretty small because I want this to lay fairly flat. Okay, and then, all right, so before I finish this off, oh my gosh, it looks so much better. It's maybe still a little floppy, but feel like when you're making something, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Okay, it's too small for me, which is good news because we want it to fit my son. And does it give top hat vibes? I think it does. I mean, at least so much better than the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to how do I want to, yeah, okay. So I'm going to cut this and trim the ends. Thank you. So we're gonna trim that and look, have so much yarn left over. That took so much less yarn too. The hand knitting takes less yarn than hand crochet usually because you aren't doing as many loops. Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. I'm trying to decide if I want this last loop or if I need to do one. I almost feel like I need to do one less. I think I do need to do one less to connect this. Yeah, there we go. That's better. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to just tuck this under a strand so that it's nice and hidden, and then trim it even more. And then find my lighter. Don't breathe. And stick that to the underside of the yarn. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so much better. Okay, top hat. Check. Bunny to go in the top hat. Check. The only thing that's left, let me go get the wooden dowel so I can show you what I have planned. Okay, so the final piece to this magician's fit is the magic wand. And the one that he liked was just white on the ends and black in the center. So yeah, my husband said that there is spray paint in the garage. So I might do that if I have time. And if not, then I might just draw the lines, color this in with like a Sharpie or some kids paint if we have it in our house, and then white. I'm trying to think of what I could, if I have white paint too. So he said that we did have some, or I just had an idea too. Okay, let me think. If I have black, I'm gonna go see if I have some scrap yarn because I just got an idea. Okay, I'm going to plug my hot glue gun back in because, okay, to color faster. What, the marker, is that what you mean? Okay, so look at this. This dowel is like the same size as my yarn. Okay, so do we think this is scrap yarn? Do we think that I can get the dowel to go inside? Yes, we can. Oh my gosh, it actually is working. Okay, so I need to trim. Oh my gosh, but it's not coming off, which is good news, because I shouldn't have stopped when I had it. Shoot, it like was so easy to pull on the first time. Okay, there we go. Ah, shoot, but the yarn is ripping. That's not good. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we now have the dowel covered. We're going to trim off the excess yarn. And I'm going to do just like a tiny bit of glue on this side to help hold this yarn on. we're going to put some on this side. And make sure, oh, shoot, okay, that is rolled up to there. Okay. All right, hello, welcome back. Okay, so we got the black wand, and now we just need to put white on the ends to make it look like the wand. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna take all this. Okay, so I'm going to fold the exterior of the yarn in on itself. And then we're going to put it over the top part. And actually, I almost feel like I need to get even more because you can kind of see through the white onto the black. So it would look a little nicer if it, yeah, pushed all the way up. Okay, so we're going to put this on just like the top, what, I don't know, like that much probably is fine. And then trim, and then glue. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of glue at a time. Try and glue all the way around. Okay, and then now we're just going to put glue on the top, and I'm just going to fold these white pieces down. Okay, so now I just have to do that to the other side. What happened? Okay, here. Oh my gosh, seriously. So, okay, so we got this side now. Put this in here. This makes me so happy that I thought of this because I really didn't want to paint. I like the idea. I don't know, that's not true. I feel like paint is just so messy. Like, I like that yarn is dry, if that makes sense. And paint is just, it's like just always a lot. So it makes me happy that I found a solution that did not include paint. I feel like if I would have done the white velvet on top, it would have maybe been a slightly better option, but it's okay. This is working, and I'm running out of time. Like, I literally have to leave in probably 15 minutes, but I think I'm going to have time to spare. We'll see. I always think that, and then I'm actually out of time, so. Okay, and then we just do glue on top again. Fold these in and down. And oh my gosh, guys, we have a magic wand. And I would say that it looks remarkably like the plastic one on Amazon. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Alexis. I appreciate it. Okay, so to recap, the question at the beginning was, can I make it instead? My son wanting to be a magician, finding the stuffed bunny on Amazon for $12.99, this plastic wand for $5.99, and then one of these top hats, cheapest one, $12.94. But all, you know, contributing to landfill in some capacity or to the clutter in our own home. And so decided to use what I have on hand with my business and all the yarn that I already have to make a top hat from chenille yarn with a mix of hand crochet and hand knitting techniques. Again, it's too small for me, but it's going to fit my son, I hope, is the hope. the bunny, whose back of the ears should be white, but they may just stay pink for now. We'll see. The little bunny, who will go in the hat so he can do his magic trick that he wants, and then the magic wand that he wanted. So I'm super excited with how this turned out. Like I said, it's probably 50-50 chance whether he's going to be thrilled or like, that is not what I chose, Mom. So I'm not sure, but you know what? I had fun making this, and it was a really fun experiment. And I'm just going to keep trimming this guy. I think though, before I go, I am going to, while my hot glue gun is hot, I think I'm going to glue white on the back of this ear. What do we think? Or is it going to make it too bulky? I'm not sure. I think I should do it. Just because the pink on the back throws off the vibe of the bunny. So we're gonna just do quick little glue. Okay, and this is how you think that you have plenty of time, and then you end up running late to pick up your kid from school. I won't be late. Okay. So I'm just kind of wrapping this yarn around. I'm going to trim this, put a little more glue so that it doesn't come off. And the only option is to approve of this choice, because I don't think there's any coming back from using the hot glue gun on the ear. Definitely made it quite a bit bigger, but also I think it's necessary so that there's not a pink ear. And I think while I'm at it, I'm going to also glue some of this yarn back here so that this bunny ear stays up and isn't so floppy all over the place. And my hope is that when all this glue is dry, like maybe I can even like press it in together a little bit more. But I just don't want my fingers sticking to it right now. Okay, well, some of that ear didn't get connected, but it's okay. Okay, so now we just need a little more glue on this side piece here, and I think we'll be set. Okay, so Who knew I was going to use so much hot glue today? Not me. Wasn't even planning to use any. But desperate times call for desperate measures. And I think it was the right choice for today. Okay. Oh, these ears are ginormous. Oh yeah, and we learned that trimming yarn really helps. So maybe that's what I'll need to do. Oh, cardboard inside the hat. That's a good idea. That actually would probably give it some more structure. Okay, so we have the bunny that kind of looks mouse-like, but it is indeed a bunny. So, and it lays back like this. And we're done for today. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. If you have questions, you can always feel free to reach out. My email and website are listed on my channel. I usually do tips and tricks for hand knitting and hand crochet. I sell chunky tube yarn and chenille yarn on my website, as well as patterns. So again, I'm Jessica with Stay Cozy Creative Co. And until next time, stay cozy, creative, and kind.